Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Revitalising Villa. This is episode of the Double Ones, episode 11, and we have finally caught up. This episode is going out on the 31st of January. As you can see, we are at the 27th of January in game, so it's weird, we are actually caught up. It's the FA Cup 4th round. Obviously the games were played this weekend. Villa weren't in it in real life, but they are in game. I'll explain why when we go through the fixtures. Bournemouth is who we play. So let's take a look at how we got there. After that disappointing 1-1 draw with Bristol City in the last episode, we beat Sheffield Wednesday at home. 3-1, Adoma getting a goal, Belka Bjarnason with 2, which is quite nice as well. It meant we were into the 4th round, obviously got Bournemouth in the draw. But in the league, a 2-2 draw away from home at Nottingham Forest was pretty disappointing. But to be fair, we scored 2 goals in a minute. So, you know, I like to look on the bright side. Jack Grealish is back as well, by the way, I must mention. And 2 good wins as well in the last 2 games. 4-2 win at home against Barnsley. Albert Adoma got 2. Codger also on the score sheet. James Chester as well for the 2nd game in a row, I've just noticed, which is quite weird. And another win soon followed, away from home at Sheffield United. A hell of a game, actually. Albert Adoma got 4 goals. So he got 4 against Sheffield United, 1 against Barnsley. Didn't score against Forest, scored against Sheffield Wednesday, scored against Bristol City. So in his last 5 games, he's got like 8 goals, something like that. The mathematicians can check that out for me because I didn't bother really counting. But it's a ridiculous return, and he is in top form. Jonathan Codger's back as well, which is good to see. And we go into the game against Bournemouth as underdogs, which is a little weird. Bournemouth in the Premier League, of course. Let's see how they've been getting on. Well, I would say their form hasn't been great. There's lots of reds you can see there. They lost to Everton last time out, I mean they did beat Crystal Palace in the FA Cup 3rd round over 2 legs, in a replay of course. So that was pretty cool. I mean there's lots of reds. They haven't had a good season. They are 17th in the Premier League. So we may be able to pile on the pressure here. A good win, and you know, it would just do anything for our confidence. Before we get there, I should talk about a couple of transfers out that have happened. Obviously, we're at the end of January now. I may have a couple of people coming in. We'll get to that if it happens. But there's definitely a few that have gone out. So let's start with a central midfielder that you may be surprised at. Henry Lansbury has left the club. He left to Brighton. I think it's a deal worth £6 million, I think. His value's gone up to 9. But I was very happy to get £6 million for a player that's only played 12 games. 1 assist, no goals. He's not really been the player I thought he would be for us. So I was happy to let him go. Got some money in, which can sort of bring us some new targets, some new players from it. And he wanted to play for Brighton, Premier League football. Everybody all round was pretty happy with that. Following him out the door then is Richie Delat. I tried to sell him in the summer, as you guys saw in the first couple of episodes. He wasn't leaving. His values has just shot right down. He's now valued at 600k. I think we got less than that for him. He's gone to Derby, a championship side as well. We got 500k for him, which I was pretty happy to do. We took a loss on him, but 2.5 for him in real life last year was stupid anyway, so I'm not taking the blame for that. I'm happy to let him go. He hasn't played. He actually hasn't played, so it's an extra 500k, so that's 6.5 million we've made at this point. So there's a bit of money to spend. And this is the team that's going to play today against this Premier League side. Mark Bunn is in goal after the injury to Sam Johnson in the last episode. He's still out. He's just getting back to fitness. He doesn't make a place on the bench today, but Mark Bunn is in goal. Right wing back James Bree. It's Sutar and Chester, the centre backs. John Sutar's come in and actually done pretty well. I can see him as a real sort of starting defender for us, ball-playing defender. He fits the role perfectly, so he plays alongside the captain, James Chester. Joe Bryan at left wing-back, Bjarnason and Hurahan in the middle. I had been playing Jake Dull-Hayes, the youngster. I've been giving him some game time and he's done well, but he's suffered an injury, so Hurahan comes back in. Bjarnason taking the box-to-box midfield role over from Lansbury and Whelan. At the moment, he's playing very well. Snodgrass comes in on the right. He was injured. He's now back in. Mitch moves Adoma to the left. Hopefully, he can keep his form despite changing his sides. And we have Varela in the attacking playmaker role just behind Codger. I did think about Onomat. We have got Grealish about too. I think he's currently injured. We do have Grealish too, just coming back into it. And I have actually recalled Keenan Davis from loan. He hasn't played yet, but he's 5-star potential ability, which I didn't actually notice before. I think he can get some game time for us. Bournemouth set up then in the 4-4-2, and it's the sort of side you would expect. It's a very strong side, actually. Jordan Ibe, Jermaine Defoe, Callum Wilson, all start. Men to watch out for. Harry Arter, Mark Pugh on the left instead of Junior Stanislas, which is a little bit weird. And the defence is pretty good too. Asmir Begovic in goal is always hard to beat. This is going to be a difficult game. We're set on attacking because it's the FA Cup. We've got nothing to lose. Let's just go for it. Here's Snodgrass into Fede Varela. He slipped it in for Codger, and that's straight over from the kickoff. That was a really, really good start, actually. Bizarre. I think what we have here is a Bournemouth side that are bereft of confidence, really, and a chance for us to take advantage. We should be full of confidence. 2 wins in our last 2 games. So I think we're unbeaten in our last 6-2. Here's Codger with a shot, deflected, and Begovic gathers complacently, I would say. And Nathan Ake, I don't know what they're doing with the ball at the back there, but our high press forces it out. Ibe over the top. Defoe's in behind Sutar. Jermaine Defoe has put it wide, and that's a chance. You can't give Jermaine Defoe that sort of ability and that sort of chance to score. Wilson will keep it in, and Sikera can find another cross maybe. Bjarnason heads away this time. We're defending resolutely, but we are not keeping the ball as we get away. Pugh's low cross, headed away again, and Fede Varela should be able to clear it now. And here's Snodgrass. Can we break? Hurahan with a lot of space in the middle of the park. Conor Hurahan. Where's he going with it? He's got options, but he's choosing to just run with the ball. Plays Adoma in on the left with a great pass. Albert Adoma probably should have found a cross. Instead, he ran right into Asmir Begovic. Bournemouth are really looking to play at the back. As soon as Begovic gets it in his hand, he's rolling it out to a centre-back, which is weird. The highlight's still going. Here's Callum Wilson on the right. Low cross. There's Jermaine Defoe. I think he hit the crossbar at the first time, but he finds the net on the second attempt, and it's 1-0 to the Premier League side. It's a good ball wide from Jordan Ibe. I must stress that. Down the channel, Wilson's got Chester beaten for pace. He's found the cross. Defoe, he does what he does best. He reacts first. Sutar was a little bit slow, I would say, and we were a little bit open. But the Premier League side lead by a goal to nil. We're looking to hit back straight away, but Sikera should break here. Look at Defoe on the break. Defoe against Sutar again. He's inside. Jermaine Defoe wide for Ibe. He's got a man at the back post. It's Mark Pugh at the back post who's hit the post. That's a little too close to my liking. Bournemouth are now starting to flex their muscle a little bit. Pugh into Wilson. A second goal here could be dangerous. Sermon with a shot. There it is. Okay then. For the second episode in a row, in the first game, we go 2-0 down inside 30 minutes. I'm going to make a change that actually worked last time, more or less. Where I'm going to bring the wing backs into it. Drop the centre attacker midfielder out for a centre back. Christoph Ayer comes on for Varela. And I'm just going to see if that actually makes a difference. Jordan Ibe on the right. He's got the beating of Joe Bryan way too easily. He's got a cross too. Jermaine Defoe, how has Defoe win a header with 3 defenders around him? He's about 3 foot tall. We just can't keep hold of their wing play at the moment for some reason. They've got overlapping fullbacks too. Sikera into Defoe, who's got away again. Wilson's shot was blocked, and there's Jordan Ibe for 3. And this is getting embarrassing now. Can we hit back from the kickoff? Adoma gives the ball away, literally. And Sermon, oh my God, what is going on? Jermaine Defoe still, what a double save by Bunn that is. But the defending is atrocious. Here's Hurahan. Can we find a way back into this? Codger's had next to nothing to feed on. Hurahan again into Adoma. He's in good goal scoring form. And he lays it on a plate for Codger. It's 3-1. We needed that. We definitely needed that. Just more or less 5 minutes before half time. If we can get another before half time, game is definitely on. But even so, this should make for an interesting second half. We can pile on the pressure. And the Bournemouth side, as I said earlier, didn't have much confidence. Will be nervous. They will definitely be nervous. Sermon's got a little bit too much space there for my liking. And Ibe's unmarked again. Bryan this time wins the ball back. Good defending from the left back. But that's a poor ball by Hurahan. And Wilson has got too much space. End-to-end stuff at the moment. Codger. Snodgrass, a poor pass again through the middle of the park, and you have to wonder if they are going to punish us again. I'm going to make a change at half time. Robert Snodgrass is coming off. He's not really with the pace of the game at the moment. Albert Adoma moves to his favourite right position, and Andre Green comes on the left. Just see if it's going to make a difference. We've got nothing to lose. Our team talk. isn't going to be a good one. Aggressively, show me something else. Lots of greens. Let's see if it makes any sort of difference. Wilson's cross. Sermon, well, look at the space for him. Look at the space for him. Don't know what has happened, but in the last month or so of game time, we have turned into a team that literally just can't defend, and we are suddenly being punished for all the little silly mistakes. Credit to Bournemouth, because they've been ruthless, but Jermaine Defoe, I thought he was going to literally run through two men. Sutar can find Bjarnason. Horahan's had a lot of space, yet he's done nothing with it until that pass for Kocha. A chance for a second for him, and Begovic makes the save. And that's the difference. We have to take our chances. We can't miss those. Once again, we've gone to a side of a probably higher quality and been outmatched badly outmatched. And that's a good interception. Now can Green break? Andre Green, he's running at the Bournemouth defence. He's running all the way through. Adoma off the tackle. It's a good cross in. Kodja's header. And it's 4-2 with 20 minutes to play. Can we make this interesting? Horahan's free kick. He's chipped it in. Bjarnason's header on. And Stanislas should clear for Bournemouth. He does do. But they are dropping back. That's a mistake from Brian. Ibe is onto it. And that's just awful. Indicative of our defending at the moment. Not happy. Not happy with this. Bjarnason, it's another slack pass in the middle. And this time Wilson's in. A great tackle, but Sermon, King, Ibe, Jordan Ibe for a second, beats Bunn at the near post. It's awful defending. Once again, we give the ball away in the middle of the park. It's just, our passing has been woeful. Woeful today. They've had 30 shots, by the way. We have been absolutely outplayed. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I shouldn't have gone on attacking, but I fancied our chances today. Fancied it against the Bournemouth side. And I was very, very wrong to do so. We have been outplayed. We have been outfought, and we have been beaten. It was dark on the pitch for us there. And it might have gone a bit dark on the camera. I've put a light on now. Hopefully that makes it a little bit easier to see. You might be able to see the disappointment on my face here, and it's not just because of the result. As you can see here, one man we were in for, Callum Gribbin, a United youngster who, from all accounts, goes on to be a very good player in this game. Chose not to join us. We had agreed a deal with United, but he's gone to West Ham instead. That's a disappointing blow. He's got pretty good stats, and he's a 5-star potential player, so it gets worse. It gets worse. Another man we're in for, Walter Gonzalez. Doesn't seem like it's happening either. Work permit application rejected, despite him having a cut for Paraguay, which is a bit weird. We can't actually see his stats on here, but he's another man that I'm told goes on to be an absolute world beater in this game, so I wanted to snap him up early. I'm trying to get the Wonderkids, but the Wonderkids doesn't seem to want to come here. One transfer we can confirm though, Sam Johnston. We've agreed a full-time deal. Of course, he's unknown with us this season. He's been very, very good. And a 1.1 with the bonuses and whatnot. It's a great deal for us. Full-time keeper for the next few years, I would think so. I think he can be a very good goalkeeper for us. At the moment, he's first choice anyway. It just made sense. He was available. Accept that deal. The application for a work permit for Walter Gonzalez, the appeal was also rejected. I can still sign him. And I'm thinking I should still sign him and loan him out somewhere where he can play. And hopefully it would mean that he can get some sort of work permit eventually. I'm going to do that. I think he'd still be a great player, and even if we just have to get money off him, we'll do that. Okay, so I immediately tried to loan him out. It's still deadline day, and FC Midtjylland have come in from the Danish side. They want to use him as a rotation player. I'm just going to accept it, and let's get him out, see if he can get any game time, and see if it means another club, another high-profile league, sort of, he can play in. If it means he can get a work permit and come for us next season, whether we're in the Premier League or not, firing goals will be nice. Okay, then second game of the episode, and we are at home to Burton Albion. We've beaten them once this season. Burton Albion, I think, are more or less bottom of the league. We'll take a look in just a second. But we are favourites for the game, like you'd expect. We need to bounce back from that loss. And a nice thumping of Burton will do it. I like Burton Albion, to be fair. I hope we don't destroy them, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do. We still do have a 6-point gap on second, so we are top of the league, and the title is in our hands at the moment. The long way to go yet, a lot of football to be played, but we are top of the league, which is good to see. Burton Albion are in fact 22nd. They are a point off safety, so they will be battling. It's not going to be an easy game. Don't think it's going to be an easy game, because it's not. A couple of changes to be made from that loss then. Jamie Hansen comes in at centre back instead of Sutar, who I think probably needs a rest. A bad performance. Let's just get him out for a game and clear his head, I suppose. Andre Green comes in on the left wing. Grealish, the attacking playmaker. It's nice to see him. I think it's his first appearance on the actual series, which is weird. And Adoma on the right means Snodgrass drops to the bench, as does Fede Varela. Kodge keeps his place, and Whelan comes in for Berko Bjarnason, who also drops to the bench. So a couple of changes, freshen things up. Keenan Davies is on the bench too, and I might get him some game time. He needs to be playing more. He doesn't even have a number at the moment. It's not good enough. They've had the better of the 20 minutes, it seems. Lots of shots raining in, which is nice to see. I think the problem is I haven't found a tactic or a formation that really fits and really works. I think the wing backs is probably the best option, especially looking at all the shots raining on us at the moment. This first half's flying through. Nothing has happened, but they are dominating in terms of stats. That's not good to see. A highlight just before the end. Bree heads away, but here's Shaughnessy into Aikens. It'll fall for Sordell and Slattery. Sordell with a bit of space. He might be able to find a cross here. It's weird defending at the near post. That was a weird highlight in general. Jonathan Kodge has picked up an injury, and it appears to be a bruised ankle. I'm going to have to bring him off at half time. I'm going to have to just change everything. Okay, then the wing backs come back out. I've made 2 changes at half time. Davies comes on for Kodge up front. Christoph Ayag drops into the centre back position for Andre Green, meaning Grealish moves out to the left and Adoma on the right. I just want to see some attacking play from us. It's been poor all episodes so far. It's Keenan Davies' big chance then. I wasn't expecting him to have such a big role in this game, but it's all on his shoulders. Can he fire us to a much needed victory after that Bournemouth loss? It hasn't really changed anything. We've had one more shot in the second half. We are... Oh, this is bizarre. Right, 3 minutes to go. This is probably the second highlight of the game, if I remember rightly. It looks like it's going to be theirs too. Hope Akpan in the midfield for them. Murphy, lots of space for Murphy. He gets a shot away, but it's poor. And this has been an awful game of football. Blow your whistle. There it is. What an awful game of football. Aston Villa 0, Burton Albion 0, and we were outplayed at home. This has not been a good episode. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings an end to this episode. A horrible episode, I suppose, is the way to put it. We're at the FA Cup. We've crashed out the FA Cup. And a disappointing draw at home to Burton Albion of all teams. We need to bounce back. We've got the perfect fixture to do it in the next episode. Birmingham City. Revitalising Villa is war returns part 2. Revenge. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you like it, subscribe to the channel, or drop me a comment. Until next time, where we will go to war again. From me to you.